'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Not only have I been the owner of Mint Mobile for the last few years, I've also been a customer. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
Notice how I did not ever say mad, angry. I'm not saying that. I want you to take it even further because anger is a secondary emotion. I want you to understand what you're really experiencing, what you're really feeling, and how this is impacting you and how this is impacting your ability to connect with your partner, communicate, and let's just be honest, feel free. Hey, my name is Veronica Cisneros, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3 girls, and married for 23 years. I am obsessed with helping you navigate through the seasons of marriage, helping couples like you break free from feeling like roommates. I will teach you the secrets to having a healthy marriage by providing tools and tips to help you reconnect in a way that you can't keep your hands off each other, where flirting and kissing is the norm in your household. Setting intentional time to date, get to know and support each other's dreams and goals so that you can grow together without keeping score or judging one another. Where you feel seen and heard even when you disagree. Where arguments end with mutual respect and understanding. Where you work together to build and strengthen your family so no one feels like they're carrying the weight of the family on their own. These are the necessary skills your children need for you to model so that they develop healthy relationships and thrive in life. This is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. We're here again. Once again, I'm responsible. I have to hold myself accountable for my actions, but yet you somehow get a get out of jail for free card. Like, how the hell did that happen? How did it come to this point where you continue to just shut down? You shut down, you act like nothing bothers you, and here I am carrying the weight of the marriage. Again, why is it so difficult for you to admit guilt? Why is it so difficult for you to just have a conversation? Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me too. But yet, you just get to shut down and walk away and pretend like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. Not at all assuming responsibility. Not at all assuming any form of guilt, or at least even displaying any form of guilt. And here I am once again hurting. What am I supposed to do with all of these emotions? How am I supposed to feel about our relationship? How am I supposed to feel connected to you if you continue to run away? I just feel like I'm alone. I feel like I'm alone. And whatever I need to say right now, because I know if I don't say it now, you're going to leave. You're going to leave. You're going to go ahead and check out. You're going to go ahead and go to the other room. You're even going to act like nothing happened. And you're going to give me the silent treatment. We're not going to be able to talk about it. We're not going to be able to talk about it for a couple days. I need to talk about it now. I want to talk about it now, because if I don't talk about it now, then I'm going to be left feeling defeated. I'm going to be left feeling as if you just don't care. I'm going to be left alone. And I don't know what to do with this. I don't. We're in a marriage. How can I be in a marriage and yet feel alone when we argue? It just doesn't make sense. Sure, I said a lot of things I shouldn't have said. Absolutely. And I will gladly apologize for it. But again, I am tired of being the one that apologizes or even takes any form of accountability. But it's just me. It's just me. How is it that you constantly position me as enemy and you look like some freaking hero? How does this even happen? Why can't we just have a conversation? Why can't we just talk? Why can't you just be here and listen and validate what I'm experiencing, validate my emotions? I don't need you to agree with everything, but just like, let me know you're here. Hey, ladies, does any of this sound familiar? Any of this sound familiar? I think I got so into it, like all of a sudden I felt like I was going to be pissed off at Willie. Like I need to find something to be pissed at Willie for, because those emotions are real. Those emotions are raw. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've had those emotions and they come up often. But here's the thing. I make sure to manage those emotions so that they don't control me. And I manage the emotions because if I don't, then they're going to get the best of me. And don't get me wrong, it's not fun to be the better person. It's not. I'm just going to be honest. There's some cons there. There are absolutely some cons with, trying to be the better person. And I'm going to challenge all of you to do it anyway, because that's what you wanted to learn. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you how to manage your emotions. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Veronica Cisneros. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, the owner of a group private practice here in Temecula, California called Outside the Norm Counseling. My specialty is women and couples issues. In addition to that, obviously, I'm the host of the Empowered and Unapologetic podcast. I'm a mama of 3 girls, and I've been married for 23 years, going on 24 in October. And I have an announcement. My birthday is on April 11th. So this will come out on the week of my birthday. And so because this is coming out on the week of my birthday is on Tuesday, this comes out on Monday, I'm going to go ahead and teach you the ins and outs of being able to manage your emotions. And the primary reason for doing that is because I know I needed it back in the day. I still need it, and I still need to practice it. So grab a pen and paper because we're going to get through this. I don't want to say quickly, but we're going to go intense and we're going to dive in deep. So let's go ahead and first talk about what issues come into play when you're unable to manage your emotions. How does this impact your marriage? Well, first off, you come across as explosive, not only to your husband, but also to your kids. And when we're explosive, one of the primary reasons why we explode is because there's so many emotions coming up for us. So many emotions: guilt, frustration, defeat, uncertainty. That's what I mean by emotions. Notice how I did not ever say mad, angry. I'm not saying that. I want you to take it even further because anger is a secondary emotion. I want you to understand what you're really experiencing, what you're really feeling, and how this is impacting you and how this is impacting your ability to connect with your partner, communicate, and let's just be honest, feel free. Feel free. Because when we're so emotional, that emotion drives us. That emotion takes us in so many places. Some of us get lost in the emotion and we build stories based off of what our emotions are telling us, right? So I want you to think about it this way. Emotions, thoughts, and your physiological response, your physical response, they're all connected. All of them are connected. I'm going to break it down. But let's go ahead and take a little deeper dive into how this impacts your marriage. Well, when you and your partner have arguments, what do the arguments look like? And I want you to think about it as a dance routine. Your husband already knows your moves and you already know his moves. And so although it is unhealthy, it becomes familiar. Well, I already know she's going to yell. I already know she's going to scream. She's going to probably throw a fit and probably even nag at me. So this is where I check out. This is where I stop talking. Because as long as I stop talking, eventually she's going to get tired. Eventually she's going to tune me out or get so frustrated that she's going to walk away. So I'm going to wait for that to happen. In addition to that, there's no reason for me to have a conversation with her if she's just going to yell. And so why even set myself up? And this is usually what I hear from husbands. Nothing's going to change. It's not like she's going to stop nagging me. It's not like she's going to stop yelling at me. So you want me to stay there? You want me to get yelled at? She's not my mom. So no. And I get to leave. I get to go ahead and walk and go into the other room. I get to go ahead and go for a drive. I get to go ahead and just shut her out. It usually works. That's exactly what men say. Another thing men will say, research studies back this, is, I don't know how to fix this anyway. I don't know how to solve this problem. So I shut down. I don't know how to manage it myself. But what happens when our partners shut down is those emotions become more and more extreme because that feeling of being abandoned, rejected on our own, oh gosh, it's so overwhelming. It is so overwhelming. And when we don't know how to manage our emotions, we get flooded with distorted thoughts. We get flooded with all of these feelings. And it kind of kicks in, it triggers us. What am I trying to say? It triggers us to go ahead and react. And we'll react based off of our urges and impulses. That rational part of our brain, that ability to go ahead and think rationally, out the window. It's out the window. And so it impacts the marriage because we're already used to this song and dance, and that's all we know. And our partner doesn't trust that we're able to go out and communicate effectively because, let's just be honest, we're not. We're not able to manage our emotions. That's really how it impacts us. Another way it impacts our marriage is it causes a divide. It causes an extreme divide because how often are you able to have deep and really important conversations with your partner without it turning into a blow up? Very rarely. And I'm not saying that this is your fault. Him stonewalling is not healthy, and it's definitely not helping the situation. It's definitely not helping you guys connect either. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about how to help you manage your emotions. So grab a pen and paper because I'm going to teach you. So the first thing I want you to think about is, what are the emotions that are coming up for you? And I really want you to think about it. What are the emotions that are coming up for you? If it's anger, challenge it. Take it even further. Is it resentment? Is it frustration? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling defeated? I know that one. That one right there is the biggest triggering. Biggest trigger is feeling defeated. I don't know about you. Is that the same for you? Would you guys agree that's a big trigger for me, feeling defeated. That one's a big one for me. The next one might be, for me, it's uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where this is going to go. And another emotion that pops up for me is, what's going to happen? Because I don't want us to argue again. I don't want to feel alone. And to be honest, I hate arguing with my husband. I hate it. Does anybody here like arguing with your husbands? I know I don't. I hate it. I hate it. And it happens. And it happens because at the time, my emotions are taken over. My ability to think rationally is out the window. And I'm flooded. I mean, let's just be honest. That's exactly what's happening. So once you've been able to identify what emotions you're experiencing, now I want you to come up with, what are the myths? What are your beliefs? What are your thoughts? What stories are you telling yourself? And just go there for a minute. It's always going to be like this. We're never going to come to an agreement. We'll always have the same argument every single day for the rest of our lives. He's never going to connect with me. We're never going to be on the same page. That's what I mean by like thoughts, beliefs, myths. Those are definitely myths. But I just want you to go there for a minute. Just explore it and write it down. I'm going to give you some time to go ahead and write it down. This is going to be an interactive session, interactive podcast, right? But like, definitely, what are the emotions, and then what are the beliefs, the thoughts that come along with it? And just write them down. Write them down. And as you're writing them down, I want you to start thinking about even some of the assumptions. Like, what are some of the assumptions about this situation? Go ahead and write those down as well. Generally, what are you telling yourself? What are you telling yourself? And for the record, they're lies. They're lies we're telling ourselves. We don't believe it because the feeling is so extreme, but they really are lies. Another thing I want you to write down, this is the next step, what's currently going on in your environment. What's going on in your environment? Is it chaos? Is there a lot of people around you? Is there no one around you? This kind of ties into the emotions that you're experiencing. The next thing I definitely want you to do is I want you to think about what's happening in your body. What's happening in your body at the moment? Are you feeling tight and tense? Do you have an increased heart rate, shortness of breath? Do you have like an upset stomach, or feels like you feel kind of nauseous? Do you feel tightness in your chest, almost as if you can't breathe? Do you feel any like kind of like pressure in your head or any tightness throughout your body? Just kind of feel that for a minute. What's going on in your body? What does this look like? I know for me, I get tight in my shoulders. Another thing that happens for me is my heart rate goes through the roof, like next level. But that's where I go. And all of these things are so important to pay attention to. All of them. The next step, and this one's a big one. What are your urges and impulses telling you to do? What are urges and impulses telling you to do? What do you feel like doing? Like, oh, he's going to hear me. He's going to listen. I'm going to get him to listen right now. I have this scripted out. I have facts. I have video. I have all of the proof that he is wrong here. Do you want to go ahead and blame? Do you want to place blame? Do you want to like really get him to sit down? Do you want to force him to believe what you believe? Do you want to force your values on him? Do you want to force your beliefs on him? Is there a part of you that wants to manipulate him? Let's just be honest. Some of us have it in us. But is there a part of you that wants to manipulate him? Is there a part of you that there's like some level of deception? I want you to be honest with yourself. What do you want to do? Like, what would it feel so good to do? For me, I'm kind of getting hyped up right now. For me, it would feel so good to hurt him the way I'm hurt. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. But it would feel so good to see him in some form of emotional pain. Like, just so I know that I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone in the conversation. Like, I want you to feel this too. I want to know that you care. I want to know that there's love there. I want to know that there's something there, because right now, the fact that you walked away, the fact that like you waited for me to say one word and that was your cue to exit the building, it's just not fair. It's not fair. And of course, you're going to walk away. Of course, you're going to walk away. Why wouldn't you? Because you standing here and having a conversation with me would mean you would have to hold yourself accountable. And you don't want to do that. And so, yeah, my urges and impulses are telling me to go ahead and say whatever the hell I need to say as quickly as I need to say it, because that's all the time I have. You already know his song and dance. He's going to leave. He's going to leave. You're going to be left alone. You're going to be left feeling like an idiot. Feeling like, once again, this is proof that I carry all the weight in the marriage. So what are your urges and impulses telling you to do? Write that down. And I really want you to write this down. Write it down.
I know looking for the right therapist can be challenging. However, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected is even harder. Life is filled with several twists and turns, some more severe than others. We do our best to handle them as they come and find ourselves at a loss, not knowing what to do or who to turn to. The clinicians here at Outside the Norm Counseling are here to help. We are here to assist you through this time of need. Together, we will identify your strengths and goals and teach you healthy coping skills. Together, we will develop a plan to help you live the life you want to live. Our team is compassionate, genuine, and we take a great deal of pride in providing an empathetic, non-judgmental approach to all of our clients. It's time. You've waited long enough, whether it be for you, your child, or if you're in need of a couple session. We are highly trained clinicians ready to guide you. Schedule an appointment now by calling 951-395-3288. Again, that number is 951-395-3288. We're looking forward to meeting you and being a part of your journey.
Next thing I want you to do is let's just say, for shits and giggles, let's say you did act on that urge. You did act on that impulse. I want you to ask yourself a question. Does that bring you closer to your partner or farther away? To be honest, it causes like this disconnect, this separation. And it ends up lasting a lot longer than if I was to go out and take a time out. Don't get me wrong. I get it. getting whatever you have off your chest, saying whatever you want to say. It does feel good for a brief moment, but your relationship, your marriage loses. You might win that argument, but your marriage lost. And research studies also show that whenever you start a conversation harshly with criticism, blame, contempt, any form of judgment, it has a 96% chance that it's going to fail. It has a 96% fail rate. 96%, ladies. 96%. So, Veronica, you're saying we got a chance. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I want you to think about what would be the consequences. What would be the outcome if you did act on your urge? What would that look like? What would it cost you? Write that down. Write that down. And also write down, is that going to bring you closer or farther away, and why? Write that down. Next step. Is there another way? No, Veronica, there's no other way. I've tried every way. There's no other way. No, I'm going to challenge you. Is there another way? Is there another way? I don't know. Is there another way that would work better? Is there another way that, I don't know, it's not based off of that action urge, right? It's not based off of impulses. So if we were to do the opposite of what our action urge is telling us to do, if we were to go ahead and do something else, what would that be? Is there another way? And I want you to write it down. If you're like, Veronica, no, there is no other way. Write that shit down. That's your truth. That's your truth. Okay, I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to give it to you because it's your truth. But I'm still going to challenge you. Is there another way? And don't get me wrong, it's not the way we probably want it. That's not what we want, right? We don't want that. But honestly, is there another way? And if there is, what is it? I know for me, I learned being a therapist and implementing some of the skills into my marriage. I've learned that there is another way. I need to calm myself down. Whatever I'm about to say, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So stay quiet. Stay quiet. Is there another way? And if that's where you're struggling, if that's where you're like, Veronica, I don't even know. Like, I have no idea what to do. I have no idea where to take this. And this is where I get stuck. I get stuck here. I get stuck in trying to find another way, but feeling as if I don't even know. I can't. If that's where you get stuck at, then maybe we need to try something different. Maybe, just maybe, we need to go ahead and recruit help. And that might be where you're at. If some of this is like, oh, Veronica, you're totally speaking to me and I get it, but it's just, there's so much emotions going on for me that they get the best of me. If that's you, that's all right. I want you to follow these steps, but if you're still like, shit, I need more. Well, hit me up. Let's work together. Let's go ahead and help you. Let's go ahead and take you to that next level so you're not creating this loop. So you're not going loop, de loop, de loop, de loop. We don't want to stay there. It doesn't work. It's not benefiting us. And this is where we work together. This is where I help you. I help you sort this out. I help you in this mode of truly understanding why. Why can't you get to the next step? What's really holding you back? And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of us get stuck there. You're not alone. I had to learn a whole hell of a lot of skills before I was able to go ahead and take my relationship to the next level. And I want to help you get there, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to work harder than you. You got to do the work. And so if you find yourself in that mode, let's go to work. Let's go to work. I do have a freebie for you, and it is called The 5 Things That Are Killing Your Marriage. You can access, it's a free guide. You can access that free guide by going to veronicacisneros.org/guide. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/guide. Ladies, listen, you're not alone. You're not alone. And I understand that managing your emotions, it can become so difficult. It can. Like I admitted to you, I struggled with it myself. But that's not the end all. It's not. And now that we've already processed through how it impacts your marriage, it's time to do something different because what you're doing isn't working. It's not. And like I said, it is causing a divide in your marriage. It is. For both of you. Don't get me wrong, have his ass listen to this podcast too, so he can go ahead and work through his own, difficulties. But I'm primarily speaking to you right now. And I'm speaking to you because I was you. I was you. So, this is what I'm asking from you. I just taught you this skill. Now, I'd like to ask you to do something for me. If you enjoyed this episode, I want you to share it. I want you to share it with as many women as possible. It's so important that we uplift each other. It's so important that we support each other and help one another. I promise you, whoever you share this with is going to thank you for it. And they're going to thank you for it because we're all struggling with this. We're all struggling with this. It's part of the reason why anytime I go out and people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I'm a teacher. And I tell them I'm a teacher because the minute I tell them I'm a therapist, that's all. That's it. I'm in that conversation. They're talking to me about their problems. They're talking to me about, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And let me tell you, those boundaries come up so quickly, but it's still something that happens. You're not alone. And this is something I've seen and witnessed time and time again. So share this. And if you really, really, really loved this episode and you're like, oh my God, Veronica totally speaks to me, then would you please rate this podcast and write a review? Tell me about your experience. I think I'm going to be doing this thing. Well, you know what? No, I am. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing some of your reviews. And why not start that now? Why not? Why not? We're here. We're both here. So I'm going to go ahead and get to my podcast right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and I'm going to read a review from one of you. And you know what? I'm going to make this a habit. Why not? You guys take the time to go ahead and write a review, so I can definitely take the time to read it. So I'm going to read a review from Natalia. I found Veronica via a mom app called Peanut in a moment when I felt overwhelmed emotionally, not only with motherhood, lack of sleep, but also navigating the new dynamic within my relationship. In the live cast she offers in the app, she also redirected me to further advice through this podcast. It's helped me so much to see things from a different perspective in a relatable way. I've shared this podcast with friends who have shared their current struggles too. I've listened to some episodes various times even. She delivers on topics and advice and some truths that can be eye-opening and life-changing, at least for me. This is so beautiful. I love reading this. This right here is why I do what I do. Like totally why I do what I do. Another one, Miko. Topics she covers are really relatable and they are really helpful guidance for you. If you and your partner are struggling to move to the right directions in your relationship, I love she talks these topics with her experiences. Also, if your partner is missing some support systems, she provides you male's perspectives in many episodes, which you may find helpful to onboard your male partner on your journey. Anytime I get in my head or have difficulties in my relationship, I come here. Like I just speed dial her. I love that. I love that she has me on speed dial with the podcasts. And she even says, love her. Oh, I love you. This is beautiful. This right here brings me so much joy. And we are going to celebrate my birthday like no tomorrow. So again, I am asking if you guys really enjoyed this podcast episode, if you guys enjoy learning and growing, then help me help other women. Help me grow a community. Scratch that. Help me grow a badass girl gang of women who feel empowered and unapologetic. All right, ladies, that's all the time I have for now. I'm excited to read your reviews. Bye. Let's be honest. We can all use a little help in our marriage, especially when it comes to communicating. I have created a guide just for you. 5 things that are killing your marriage, tips from a therapist. Find out if you are making these marriage mistakes. Ladies, this guide is 100% free. I will give you practical tips and easy to use strategies to apply right away. You all know I'm a huge advocate for couples. I am on a mission to help you and your partner experience stress-free living. With this free guide, we are setting our marriages up for success. But it starts with you. You will find this free guide here in the show notes or go to www.veronicacisneros.org. The information I will be providing you is next level, and people pay good money to get these tips that I will be giving you for free. Don't forget to share this with a friend. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.
Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and to our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support to helping loved ones to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there. Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and to our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support to helping loved ones to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
Hey there, this is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.
I'm Madeline, and I'm the host of the Happiest Sober podcast. I got sober in my 20s after a decade of gray area drinking, and the greatest plot twist of all time was realizing that alcohol, the thing that I thought made my life the most happy and fun and exciting, was actually the exact thing preventing me from living my happiest and best life. My mom is 40 years sober, and she joins me on my podcast very often. I like to call her my part-time co-host, and I also bring you solo episodes where I share my top tips, tricks, and mindset shifts in sobriety, and lots of how-tos for navigating all the things sober, from weddings to parties to holidays to bachelorette parties to trips. I'm also joined by so many guests who come on and share their sober stories, and they're all so inspiring. I'm here to show you that life doesn't end when you quit drinking. In fact, it's very much the opposite. And no matter what your relationship was with alcohol, life can be the absolute happiest when you're sober. New episodes come out every Tuesday. You can listen to Happiest Sober podcast wherever you get your podcasts.